Welcome back to Honey and Soul with Mel and Ginger. We are so excited that you are here. We've got lots to talk about today, and take it away.
Oh yeah. So we figured let's dive into the topic of power of positivity and reframe, because thought is the beginning of reality.
Absolutely.
So defining the power of positivity, I know there's a lot of hot conversations around this,
Right.
Ginger, if you want to kind of share.
Right, yeah. So, we're all energy. Everything's energy. Energy is everything. And we can either think positive or think negative about any situation, which is energy. When we focus our energy on something negative or we focus our energy on something positive, either way, we're going to attract those feelings.
This is the Carolyn Miss thing of like, we look for proof.
Right.
And we will find affirmation. Like and then Brene Brown goes into the whole, like, if I want to prove that you don't like me, I can find ways.
Right.
And that's just an example of this attraction, right?
It's like investigating, like they talk about, like you're investigating. What I do know is that when I see people all the time that have great abundance with everything, with relationships, with, finances. And I always look at them and I think, what is it about them that's different than somebody who might not be having all those experiences? And it always goes back to, they believe that they're going to have that, so it's in a belief system. So we believe, a belief is a thought that we think over and over and over again. And we can change our thoughts at any time, meaning we can change our beliefs. So if I believe that I am this, this, and this, it's because I kept thinking I was this, and this. No one told me, I just thought it, right? So I just kept thinking it over and over. So then it becomes a belief. So a belief is a lot stronger than a thought.
Right, because it's that. So if like I'm constantly like, look, I'll never have financial freedom. I'll never be pretty or liked or this. Like by doing that, you create a system of an experience, and I think this is how we really get stuck, right?
Right. Because it's so easy to start that cycle of negativity. So I use the example of waking up in the morning and stubbing your foot or falling out of bed, and then you go in and your kid is screaming. Then you make breakfast and you burn the eggs. I mean, it's just like over and over. Then you're in your car and you hit every single stop bar.
You're like, there it is again.
There it is again. And I'm attracting those things over and over because of my thinking. Because I believe that shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but it's true.
It's true. And what we focus on expands. So if you want to change your life,
change your thoughts.
Right. Now, I think that when we have been conditioned, this is where that concept of pay attention, what makes you feel, or when you have those specific thoughts, what are you feeling in your body? What are the people, the places where those things show up?
Right. Where you feel triggered.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Where you feel triggered.
So what I do is when I get into a negative space, and I try not to stay there for very long, because I've learned that I attract more negativity when I stay there. I go do something that feels good, right? So even if that means I just walking outside and looking at the sky and, expressing gratitude for being able to walk outside and look at the sky, I get into a higher vibration. So my energy is operating at a higher frequency. So even though I was operating at a low frequency, negativity, and that's low frequency, I change what I'm doing and I go look at something that's going to raise my vibration, my energy.
I want to share with them a little bit about what that is.
Okay.
Your frequency. So this is at what is the coherence of your heart? What frequency does the your mitochondria in your cell, all of that has a pulsation. It all has a vibration. I mean, sorry, but here's the truth. You're just a bunch of vibrating atoms. That's all.
Energy.
It's energy. And when we learn to work with this foundation, like what Ginger's talking about, we can become aware that lower vibrational thinking behavior actually dilutes the way your cells operate. This is why when we talk about dis-ease is what leads to disease.
Absolutely.
Because it's incoherent in your body. So these thoughts and these experiences, you just create healthier, vibrant frequencies that then attract healthy, vibrant things. And this is where it's like where all of a sudden you're like the right person shows up at the right time. Or the opportunity, or like you just happen to like run in and you saw that, like these unexpected things that happen, that's the attraction.
Well, you look at our dynamic, we both operate, I would say, usually on a high frequency. And we attracted each other, we attracted what we're doing at a high frequency. If I was at a low frequency,
it would not match.
It wouldn't match. And you think about relationships, the same thing. When you're in a relationship with someone and someone is growing and they're at a higher vibration and their partner is not growing with them, so they're staying at that frequency, they can't match.
Yeah, and it creates that frustration.
Right, and then they grow apart. But I just know that when I'm in a space of negativity, if I go change what I'm doing at that time,
the action, like what you're doing,
turns into a higher vibration that I can't go back down. I'm up here now, so I feel good. It's like you're flying high, right? You're up here, you're flying high, everything's good. You know, I mean, it just...
Well, I think of, so with the work I do, we call it pleasurable neuromuscular pathways. We create pleasurable patterns and pathways in our body by doing things that feel good.
Right.
So when I get like upset, one thing is space is like the healer, right? Like space creates space when in doubt, because then it can dissolve and diffuse a lot of reactivity. So creating a little space and then doing something.
Meditating.
Honestly, like like when I'm not in a good place, I'm like, I need a venti soy chai, no water, at 140 degrees with an extra cup of chai. No, but for real, that is like I have to go get my special chai, or I like to go to different places. Sometimes like I'll go and shop, or I love PF Chang's. Like I'm going to PF Chang's. Like I just do something that feels good,
right? And
then I get back into.
It's, you know, I love gardening. I love my flowers. They're like my friends. I mean, I talk to them, and watering them and feeding them and watching them brings me so much joy. And I mean, I don't know. It's probably out there. But I wear kimonos every single day of my life. So I'm out
in the garden, attracting the flowers and the good vibes.
It is the good. I'm all about good vibes. I mean, it says it all over my house. Like, don't even like step in here if you don't have the vibe that I'm offering.
Well, and I think it's fair to have the people in your life. You can't control what people do, but like take responsibility for the energy you bring in spaces.
Right. And if somebody comes into your experience and the energy doesn't feel right, you can change that energy by your energy, by putting your energy out there, that good, positive energy.
Like, I believe in you.
Yes, I believe that, and even just putting it out into the universe.
Yeah.
Like, I want this experience to go well. You know, Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, I follow her, and she talks about getting out in front of it. And getting out in front of it means that you put an intention out there before you do anything, and you kind of put out there what you're expecting. Like, I expect to drive from point A to point B and get there safely, and make sure all the drivers, we're all in alignment. And so you're already putting that out there. And, you know, I have a crystal in my car, and I just kind of crystal myself and my passenger, and, you know, I intend on getting where I'm going safely, and that's what works for me. So it's like finding those,
putting it out, like just being, and it goes back to like that clarity.
Putting out there what you want. If you want, I mean, I believe we create our own life. You know, there's different avenues into creating our own life, and it's a drawing board. And you can go back and erase it at any time. Like, I don't want that experience anymore. So I'm gonna go erase it and then draw a new one.
Yeah, set clear what you want. I think about too in like relationships with people who we're talking about at a lower frequency, or just like it's just like we're not resonating or you're not growing. One thing too, like I want to share two things. One is that with people like that, when you practice grace and I believe in you, not I expect you to do this and here's all this expectation, right, but I believe in your growth, I believe in the timing, then you're putting love and good vibration. You know, the other thing too is you can also be in
Mm-hmm.
relationship with these people as your spiritual teachers. Like they're the blessing, they're the step in, they're part of that growth.
I've been blessed to have many really good relationships in my life, but I did get into a relationship that didn't serve me. And what I realized after that, and it was about a year, is that that person was my best teacher. Because I learned things about myself that I never would have learned with people that didn't test me, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, we can look at these people that come into our experience and can, play the victim and say, they did this, instead of looking at it as a blessing.
Yeah.
Like you helped me see a side of me that I don't like and that I need to look at and explore, because you're just a mirror.
Well, and that's like what's so beautiful is sometimes when we're trying to heal from relationships, we just bypass. We're like, I'm over it, I'm better. But the truth is if we can sit with the pain, the discomfort, the hurt, the broken promises, the broken whatever, the hurt expectation, the hurt ego, all of it.
Right.
And we can sit with it, we can transcend it into this, where it's like, wow, look what this awakened in me, or just so much growth. And I love this concept of when we see that people are mirrors into us, because it's like, you're like, I don't like that. And then you're like, wait, that's really about me.
Right. And it happens quite often if you're somewhere and somebody's acting, harshly or abruptly or has a bad attitude, and you begin to judge that person like, what's wrong with them? It's instead of doing that, you become the witness instead of the judge. And obviously we're going to talk about that more. You witness the behavior, and then you can go back and go, now where in my day was I acting that way? And I would say 95% of the time there is a part of your day that you were impatient or not kind or whatever, and that person was just showing you mirroring to you what you had been doing.
What you need to work on.
Yes.
I mean, this practice is like the infrastructure of reframe. I was telling Ginger earlier, like when we think about reframe, this concept of, life is happening to me and this is unfair and this is, I deserve this and I need this, and just that entitlement. I was driving my daughter to school this morning and I had like a realization. Honestly, I was on the roads. I was thinking how lucky are we that we can have clean roads? And my mind went into how people clean the roads, and then I started thinking about what the government pays for us to have this country, this environment. We're we don't have trash on the streets really. I mean, we have these things. And then it reframed my taxes. I'm so thankful that I get when I pay taxes each year. I'm a business owner, so there's a dialogue to dread tax season and taxes, but this is what I'm investing in and I'm thankful for it. And that reframe just I felt so good in that moment, and I do believe that it's just going to continue to attract the abundance.
Right. And that is so true, Mel, is that when we're in a place of gratitude, feeling good, and expressing that to the universe, to God, putting that out there, we're gonna experience so much more than we could ever imagine. And I really believe that. And I know, I have people, because I coach people on manifestation, and that's what this is. It's manifesting what you want in your life. And I have many people going, but it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. And I ask them, where's your mind at? You're resisting it by saying it's not happening. You're not trusting, right? So you're resisting.
And you're not allowing, because you want it to happen the way you think it should happen, when it's probably going to happen bigger.
So what is that? Control. right?
It's total control.
Total control. It's like I can control, this, and this, and God is saying, no.
He's like, I want to bless you bigger.
Yeah, I want to bless you bigger. But I just believe very much in the law of attraction. I believe that we attract what we put out. And if we're negative and bitching and playing the victim, then that's who we surround ourselves with.
Yeah, and then you'll have the people to complain with because they're going to be attracted to you.
Right. And if you do drugs, that's who you're attracting. You attract what you are.
Like increases like.
Exactly. And so if you want to change your life, you have to change your thinking. Then your thinking, you change your actions.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
the other thing too with this is that it's not about like getting a means to an end. It's about getting the means to accomplish an end for more means. It's a cycle.
Absolutely.
Like if it's like, oh, I just want to have all this wealth, or I just want to have all this whatever. Like that's not. It's about attracting what you need to do what you want to do. And then keep going. And keep going.
Like, and I always think about like the journey.
Yes.
Is you're on the journey to the manifestation. And you're on the journey and you're like, but when's the manifestation going to happen? And when it finally happens, then that was so awesome. That journey was a lot of fun. I mean, yes, I resisted it a little, but the journey, it's never about the destination.
No, because then once you arrive, you continue to unfold.
Right.
So, and I think that's a truth that if we can accept and be open to, we begin to really co-create the things and letting it be diverse. Like I look at my life right now and I do the yoga, yes, and the mindfulness, yes, but I also do the poetry and I'm super into interior design and I'm in, like there's more, like I don't have to keep myself stuck in one domain.
Right.
Let me just see what opens me, that opens me too.
Right, absolutely. Heart open. Always about heart open. Well, I think that this week for soul work would be something to really think about is to, when you're in a negative space, when you're feeling negative, you're feeling down, is to find that one thing or two things that will get you out of that negative thinking and write about it and let us know. Like we want to hear your feedback. We want to know what you're experiencing through this. That's what makes us happy. We're here for you.
Yeah. Hit me up if you go to PF Chang's for your reframe.
Or if you like to water your plants and wear kimonos and crystals and I mean there's just so many. But find your bliss. I can't express that any better than find your bliss. Find what makes you tick, what makes you you, and embrace that. Embrace who you are.
Yeah.
Because the world wants us to be different, tells us to be different.
Tells us to be limited. Like you can only do only this.
Right. And we're so much more than that. So we are so happy that you tuned in this week and we can't wait to see you next week and have a wonderful week.